You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys, and welcome to Monday. We got some Monday motivation for you guys. I'm coming in hot. I'm feeling good. I'm fired up, and I think it's going to be one of the best weeks ever, one of the best springs ever. And you know what? On today's podcast and episode, I'm going to get fired up. It's going to be a good one. We're going to come at you. Hopefully it's a good one. Sometimes I just want to grab this mic and scream. And I'm going to do my best to use my words, articulate, and hopefully develop a couple of thoughts along the way that just help you guys out with paying the full price of success. I've had some really interesting conversations, some really interesting observations, a lot of great conversation with so many guys in the industry these last few weeks, the last few months, and it's just getting me fired up. What I want to talk about today was paying the full price of success. I want to talk about leadership. I want to talk about you guys out there that are hungry for it, the guys out there that are winning. If you're winning right now, you're going to love this talk. If you're losing or you're whining or you're just belly aching and moaning, I don't know. Hopefully this dries out your wood and it relits the fire within you to go on out there and crush it with your business. But I'll tell you what, for those of you guys that are fired up, this episode is going to be a banger. So let's do this really quick. We still got the lights to pay, no matter how fired up or not fired up we are. So let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, to hear all the show announcements, all the updates, and then we're going to come right on back.
It is so cool and appreciated when you guys take a screenshot of something that you've purchased using the Brian's 10 discount code and then post it to your socials. I see a lot of people that have been saving $10 on their IsoTunes purchases, so make sure and apply Brian's 10 at checkout. And I love the way my IsoTunes just block out not only loud mechanical and mower noises, but screaming kids, yapper dogs, even the mother-in-law. Thank you, IsoTunes, for a great product and for sponsoring today's Fullerton Unfiltered podcast.
Step up your hearing protection game with the earmuffs you've been waiting for. Introducing IsoTunes Link. With up to 28 hours of battery life and a hands-free experience, Link is perfect if you prefer over-the-ear protection on the job. Sweat and water-resistant memory foam cushions deliver the level of comfort you want and the protection you need. Gear up with the next generation of hearing protection. Visit isotunes.com today.
All right, guys. Well, welcome back. It is going to be a fun episode here. And, just for a few minutes, I want to talk to you guys and give you some Monday mindset, some Monday motivation, and just kind of pour into you guys for a few minutes. Man, there's so many good things going on around our house, our ecosystem, our business. We're having some of our best weeks ever. We're a couple weeks ahead of schedule. And you know what? I'm just really fired up about this season. I think last year, it really illuminated so many different things from all of our businesses, right? Let's be honest. There's a lot of crazy stuff that went on the last 12 months, and it feels good to just, this year maybe have hit the reset button. The demand is up for all of our services. Supply is down. There's not as many people doing what we're doing. A lot of you guys are raising prices, making money, and frankly, if you're out there, like, what is the old analogy? Like, if your surfboard is in the water and you're about to hit that crest and you're about to ride the wave, as long as your ship is out to sea, as long as your surfboard is in the water, I feel right now it should be pretty simple to make money. And I know not everybody's experiencing that. I understand that in certain parts of the country, the phone's not ringing off the hook just yet. I mean, it's still a little bit early in the season. But the bottom line is that this time of year and over the next, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, it should be pretty simple to grow your business. And not only that, just in this economy today, it should be pretty simple to chisel out a successful lawn and landscape company in 12, 24, 36 months max. What I want to talk about on today's podcast was talk about success. Talk about paying the full price about success, paying the full price for success. And just talk about leadership, talk about attitude, talk about, the reality is that sometimes we have down days. Sometimes business isn't fun. What I want to talk about and start with first is a practical topic that, I was talking to someone just the other day, had a great conversation. It was a coaching call, hour and 40-minute coaching call. Fantastic time talking to one of you guys. And here's the bottom line. Maybe some of you guys have dealt with this in the past. Maybe you guys are still dealing with this. And here's what I want to talk about for a quick minute is making sure your business is as legit is possible. I want to talk about finessing. I want to talk about wiggle room, gray areas, maybe not doing things correctly. Here's the bottom line. My first decade in business, we did what a lot of you guys did. A lot of you guys still do or might do, or a lot of how you guys got started. Maybe things weren't as legit as possible. It doesn't mean we're doing anything like super bad or super awful, but we also sometimes didn't know what we didn't know. And so we were doing things wrong, but we didn't know that. So whether it's ignorance or whatever, it's neither here nor there. But the bottom line is that I had a great conversation with this guy, and we were just, being honest. We were just being real. We were talking about the fact that, in the past, he didn't put his business on paper necessarily. And, if you ever call him with this stuff, it's totally confidential. I mean, I've maybe fielded about 100 of these calls so far. and that's okay. Because if you don't know what you don't know, I understand it's intimidating. It's scary. You don't know what you need to do. You get almost more afraid or more petrified of the ramifications of what you've been doing. Like, dude, I totally get it. So anyway, a gentleman called in. He had not necessarily put his business, and he had a tiny business. This is his second season. So it's not like he had $200,000 cash, right? That he was running from his new lawn care business. But he had a couple bucks coming in, and he was like, when do I put it on paper? And, when do I start getting insurance? When do I, get workers' comp? A bunch of good questions, legitimate questions. Who hasn't had those questions before? And I said, well, here's the button. He goes, he asked a great question. He said, what's the benefit of putting my business on paper versus me just running it the way I am and doing it for cash? And I said, dude, that's actually a really good question. I said, other than the obvious of going to jail, I'm just having fun. There's a lot of benefits. And I'm not going to go through the whole half-hour, spiel about, all the pros and cons. Obviously, the cons are you're doing things illegally. We want to make sure that we're putting it on paper. You're going to want to claim that income. You're going to want to start building credit. You're going to want to start building cash flow. You're going to want to make sure that you can sleep, have your head on your pillow and sleep good at night, sleep peacefully, sleep restfully. If somebody gets hurt and you don't have workers' comp, I said, if you ever get an audit and you don't have your books in line or you have like discrepancies with your cash flow, I said, they're smart enough to start figuring that kind of stuff out with today's supercomputers and algorithms. Like, if you think you're smarter than somebody else, like maybe you are, but why roll the dice? Why roll the dice? But I said, what it really came down to is it's going to make you a better business person. It's going to make you a better business man, a better business woman, a better business owner by learning these skills and how to actually run a successful, real company. For example, let's say you have a cash business, or maybe you have a small business and you're like, well, it's kind of a gray area if I get workers' comp because the guy that works for me, he works for cash. It's $12 an hour, 15, 20 bucks, whatever, $20 an hour cash. And he's a good guy because we went to school together in high school or college. He's in between things, or he's a firefighter. He's doing things part-time. He just wants 10 hours a week. Frankly, I need the help. And so it's a gray area. It's a finesse. It's nobody really knows. Nobody really cares. It's really probably not a big deal. And here's the bottom line. You're right. The bottom line is that you're probably right. Nobody is going to know. Nobody is going to care. And the reality is that there's probably never going to be an incident, right? But I said, here's the deal. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't grow you. It doesn't make you a better business person. It doesn't help you get out of your own headspace and start taking things on the chin, start learning how to run a successful, real company. That was my first decade in business. I was like, I just pay people cash. I just won't maybe claim all of it or whatever. Maybe you're doing 50 and you put 10 in the bank. And I had somebody leave a comment on YouTube the other day. You're telling me if somebody walked up to you and said, I'll just give you $100 cash to mow my lawn, you'd say no? And I replied, correct. Because I'm not doing that anymore because that's easy. And I don't want to do easy. I want to do the hard thing because the hard thing is probably the right thing you need to do to become better. And so the bottom line is I said, and I wasn't getting hard on him. I wasn't like chewing him out like I am you guys. It's a volunteer army. Thanks for listening, but we're going to get into it because here's the deal. Some of these podcast episodes, they're fun, they're foo-foo, and you guys enjoy them and it's entertainment. Some of them, we have to do some, mind work, some surgery. Let's learn, let's grow. Let's not be the same person we were, 8 minutes and 40 seconds ago by the time we're done. We want to grow. We want to become more effective. We want to become more successful. And I said, not doing all these things correctly is not helping you grow as a person. It's not helping you grow as a business person. It's not helping you grow as a businessman. I said, when you want to have success, you have to pay the full price to become successful. You don't want to get something because you finessed. You don't want to get somewhere and know that you cheated, know that you lied, know that you didn't pay the full price, right? I heard somebody say once, if you want the full reward, you have to pay the full price. Let me give you, for instance, let's say you're a bodybuilder guy, right? You're a bodybuilder, you're a tank. A lot of you guys listening, you're way into fitness for sure. Like you guys just crush it out there. You could, bend a golf club. And that's awesome, dude, for sure. Like I envy that. I'm jealous, 100%. God bless you guys. But if you're a bodybuilder, power lifter, whatever, CrossFit captain of the world, Rich Froning, and somebody else is in the finals, the main, championship, the main competition, you're going tit for tat, toe for toe, whatever it is to win the big thing, the number one spot. If you win and you cheated and you juiced and you used steroids and you used PEDs and you won and the other guy didn't, how would you feel about winning? Like, okay, you got first place, you got the trophy, you got the girl, whatever. But the reality is, that you cheated. You know that you finessed. You know that you didn't pay the full price for success. And so the reward you have is shallow. You didn't feel like you earned it. You didn't feel like you paid the full price. And actually, you feel like you stole it from the guy who did. So what's my point? My point is, sometimes in business, where we are like, hey, should I get an LLC or should I just, run my business one more year for cash? I mean, really? It's only 10, 20 grand. And I get it. And I'm not putting anybody down that's doing that. I'm just trying to give some perspective because this was my first decade in business. I spent 10 years, my first 10 years in business, and I got my business up to a little $75,000 a year business. I wasn't really trying to grow it. I was happy where I was at. My story is pretty well documented. I was pretty happy with where I was at. We would do 60, 70. I would net, 30 to 50. I'm a single guy living at home. I would, finance some things, but pay cash for some things. And the reality is I wasn't really starving, for it. But at the same point, I wasn't growing. I was kind of stagnant as a business owner, stagnant as a human being. And then I met a girl, Liz, and it just kind of got me motivated. She's like, I want nice things. I want to have a family. I want a nice car. I want to be in safe vehicles, not cars that you got to pray over every time to start. You guys ever have the cars that talk to you? Like my old Infiniti, I try to start it and it would be like, nuh-uh, 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 nuh-uh. And I'd be like, I'm tired of my cars telling me no. I'm like, I own you. You don't own me. Why are you not starting? And my cars would talk. Maybe you got a truck like that right now, you guys ever had the vehicle where you take the keys, you turn off the vehicle, you pull the keys out and it still runs? I've been there. My Hyundai was like that. I'm like, I have the keys. Why are you still running? That's not how it works. You're supposed to turn off. And so let's go full circle. After 10 years, what was my worldview? What kind of impact was I making? Who was I helping? Wasn't helping anybody more than myself. I was finessing. I wasn't paying the full price of success. And so at the bottom line, I wasn't proud of myself. I wasn't excited about my message. I wasn't excited about sharing with anybody. I was up, I was down, I was left, I was right. I had no passion, no excitement. And so to go full circle to this other guy, I said, yeah, dude, you're not paying the full price of success right now though. I said, he's like, well, should I get an LLC? And I'm like, are you running it under your personal finances right now? And he goes, well, yeah. I said, and what happens if you get sued? I said, what happens if you put a rock, through, Agnes's forehead and unfortunately she passes away? I said, you're going to get sued. And, a small child. And I said, well, think about your kid's future. They're going to grow up potentially without a parent who might be in prison. I said, get an LLC, get some asset protection, get some liability insurance. I said, get some workers' comp if you got guys helping you part-time. I'm like, don't finesse. Well, it's a gray area. Yeah, the people who give you that advice are not successful, right? And here's the only thing that's even more worse than that. And I've said this on a podcast before. The people, what's the worst thing that could happen to somebody who goes to Vegas? I heard somebody say, the answer is they win. Because they think that they're smart. They think that they're better. They think they game the system. And so the only person that's like dangerous out there is like the guy who won, who maybe isn't even good at winning, but he's giving out advice. And so that's the guy who's got a 450 credit score. And if you do, relax. I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying. The guy that's always dispensing advice, your brother-in-law, on Facebook or at dinner at Thanksgiving is the guy who's broke. He doesn't have his life together. He's got a 400 credit score and no cash in the bank. But he's like, you know what, dude? You don't need a license to do business, man. I've been doing it with me and my other cousin, Albert, and we've been rocking and rolling, and you don't need all that stuff. And you take that advice, and because he's never had an incident, your brother-in-law or your cousin, you think it's okay. The bottom line is like, it's not okay. It's not okay because you're finessing. And so it's not challenging you to grow. And if you want to have the full price of success, or you want to accept the full reward of success, you have to pay the full price of success to get it. And I mean, I've seen people like they're down, they're up, they're down, they're up. Like here's the bottom line. You guys are the CEOs of your freaking company. And I heard John Maxwell say, a leader is up even when he's down. Right? I mean, you don't get to whine being the CEO of your own company. I'm not saying there's not bad days or tough days. I have them too. I'm a real human. Things break down. People don't show up. Things don't go to schedule. But the bottom line is, it's up to me. I have to make this thing work. It's called leadership. It's called being the CEO of your company. You don't get to whine. You don't get to complain. Like, there's posters out there, no days off. And then you guys share them on Instagram. Other people share them on Instagram. And then they don't work but 3 hours a day. They want to go to the pool. They want to go on vacation. They want to go buy a Gucci belt with their stimmy money. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't even understand the value of a Gucci belt. You don't even understand Dolce & Gabbana. You don't even deserve to be wearing a certain watch because you haven't even paid the full price of success. You're circumventing success. And so that's why when you get something nice, it feels shallow because you didn't pay the full freaking price. I hope I'm resonating with you guys. Look, here's the bottom line. Leaders are up even when they're down. Your guys are looking to you for leadership. Your family's looking to you for leadership. Your kids are looking to you for leadership. Your wife is looking to you for leadership. Get your freaking attitude right. Here's the bottom line. Everybody right now in this country today, even if you're the most unproductive member of society, you're still living the dream. You eat more red meat than any other country, including Europe. You have more access to the internet than any other country in Europe. You have more access to clean running water than anybody else in the world, including Europe. The worst guy here in America still has it better than middle class everywhere else. And we all get comfortable and we get fussy. We get complaining. We get judgmental. People out there making memes about other people trying to help people because you have so much comfort that your brain now thinks it's appropriate to make comments about other people or to whine or to fuss or to complain about your circumstances, which any other shorty in the world would be thankful to be able to trade positions with you. Well, Brian, you're just, it's easy for you to say. Guys, I'm a real person just like you. And this podcast is unfiltered. That means it's designed to help you hear the truth. And there's no way to not hear the truth and to not be affected. You're either going to change or you're going to get pissed off. You're pissed off because it's the truth, or you're going to be excited because of the truth, because it's the truth. And if you're a winner, you want to hear the truth and you want to succeed. You want to resonate with that. But if you get pissed off at what I got to say, you're going to go listen to Andy Frisella say the same thing, and you're going to get pissed off if he says it too, or if your wife says it. Truth is truth. Truth is not relative. Okay? You don't get to debate. You don't get to negotiate with truth, with success. Right? So many of us have been off for 2, 3, 4 months. Season gets here and then people get lazy. Season gets here, people get tired. And all I heard about was for 4 months, how you're going to crush it. I can't wait. I'm going to be the biggest, baddest, best thing ever. Prove it. And then don't just prove it this year, prove it for the next 5 or 10 years. See, so many people want success, but they're literally not willing to pay the full price for it. And it bothers me because when I want to buy a watch and then somebody else who doesn't earn it wants to buy the same watch, if I'm wearing it and you're wearing it, we better have paid the same price for success for that item. And when you get your little stimmy money, or you finessed somebody out of money, or you didn't pay the full price because you were the performance enhancing bodybuilder guy, and didn't pay the full price, you cheapen it. You cheapen it for the people around you. And there's like almost no honor anymore about working hard, about success. So, for example, I was talking to the guy and I said, we were talking about this and we were both getting fired up. He's like, dude, this is good stuff. And we were reciprocating. We were talking, we were bantering back and forth. We were just having this, dude, this like alpha conversation, and it was legit. And I said, dude, when I bought my Tesla, I wanted every shorty on the planet to know that I worked my butt off for 5 years to get a stupid car that has falcon wing doors. It's a stupid car. But I said, there's not a single person out of 25 million views on my channel in 5 years that hasn't seen me have the darkest of black circles under my eyes for the last 36 months. I think I've fielded 1,000 comments, dude, you should get some sleep. I get it. But here's the reality. I wanted to pay the full price of success. I didn't want to get the car. Yeah, I could have financed it 4 years ago, 2 years ago. So it's a stupid payment. I put a chunk down and I financed the rest, blah, 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 blah. But there's a reason I did all that, right? Like there's business mindset behind that. I've learned from very successful people what to do with my money. And I'm starting to learn. I want to be successful. But I didn't want to just get it when I had X amount of money coming in per month. I was like, nah, I could finance it. But the goal was put enough in the bank to pay for it cash. I got that much money in the bank to pay for it cash. And instead I decided to finance it. But I could have financed it 3 years ago. But you know what? That wasn't me paying the full price of success for the car. That was me finessing. That was me doing a little end run, a little circumventing. And I could have justified it 1,000 different times, 1,000 different ways. My crappy Infinity that would never start, and I'm jumping it at the Home Goods parking lot on 12 Mile and Novi Road in Novi, Michigan. My wife's out there. It's August. It's 94 degrees. Doesn't start. There's no air conditioning. The ball joints are, just rickety-rick. It feels like a shopping cart full of bowling balls. And I could have went the next day and financed any stupid car. So could a lot of you guys. It's not making money. It's just talking about options, right? But I didn't pay the full price yet for success. I was 6 months away, 12 months away. And I was like, not yet. And we were going to go buy a Volvo XC90, 55 grand, T5, T6 Momentum, whatever. It's a cool car. But no, I wanted to pay the full price of success. And so when I was able to go buy that car, I cried. I fist bumped, shadow boxed. Dude, I paid the full price. Anybody can say anything they want about you. But when you know that you paid the full price of success and you get the reward, you buy the truck, you get the mower, you buy the weed whip. It can be $1,000, it can be $100,000, it can be $1 million, folks. But the bottom line, when you paid the full price of success, stop being cheap. Stop looking to finesse. It is work. It is hard work. Mowing lawns, doing landscaping. I still do every single thing I show you guys on YouTube. We're still working every single day. Excuse me. I told the guy, nobody that knows my story can't deny or would deny that I didn't pay the full price to get that stupid car. And by the way, I had already accomplished the goal of getting the car 3 years prior because I understood momentum. I finally kind of had some things clicked. I realized, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure if nothing changes and I just don't get hit by a bus, I'll probably be able to get the car in 3 years because I understand exponential growth. I understood our lawn care business. I understood my YouTube crap. I realized where things were going. I already had paid the price for that car the first 2-3 years. By the way, made no money doing YouTube. Made no money those first 3-4 years. I mean, zero, guys, literally zero money. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep working even when it's not showing. Because that's what leaders do. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. right? So what that means is faith. It's a substance. It's a put your hands through the air and you're like grabbing like jello-y water in the sky. That's faith. That's the fourth realm. That's the unseen. Let's go down Keith Kalfas' videos. He'll talk about this. I'm extracting that. I'm pulling that out of the unseen. I'm building my car with my faith. I'm exchanging my faith for my car through this medium. I'm attracting it to me. Success, get on me now. A lot of you guys have heard that, said that. Success, I demand success. There's no way with the dues I've paid that I'm not entitled to success. Nobody's entitled to anything. And I don't use entitlement like, an entitlement. I mean, there's no way that with how much giving, how much serving, how much you guys have worked that you're not entitled to that next thing. And lo and behold, doesn't it always seem to come out of nowhere that the thing that you've been working, sowing, giving, praying for comes and shows up after you've paid a certain level or checkpoint or check box of success? It's almost like when you get around successful people, they have clarity, they have peace, they have vision, they have this calmness about them. For me, I'm realizing what I need to do to get to the next level. I'm realizing what I have to do to make my life and my business work. You guys have to figure that out for you. The point is, stop finessing. Pay the full price of success, right? Well, I'm not paying workers' comp, or I'm not doing this. It's not making you a better business person. It's hurting you. It's making you more weak. Imagine this. Imagine you finesse, you didn't put something on paper. And again, I'm not getting hard on you guys about not putting your business on paper. It's the point about success. The guy at the gym juicing versus the guy putting in extra reps. The guy that's putting that late night work after 3, as some of our local Detroit friends would say. If you're not putting in that work, you're not deserving of that success. And when other people are getting that success, it could bother you if you're not putting in the work. So you finesse, or you make comments, or you make digs, or that's what other people do. The bottom line is pay the full price. The bottom line is stop finessing. If you told Jeff Bezos, Mr. Amazon, right? If you told, that's my Grant Cardone voice right there. You heard that come out? If you told Jeff Bezos that you kept 20 cash off the books for your business and you were so proud about it, do you think Jeff Bezos would laugh at you? Do you think Jeff Bezos would be encouraged or motivated or inspired by you? And I'm not saying this like to be a jerk. I'm just like sincerely, like think about it. If you get around your broke brother-in-law, your broke cousin, and he's like, oh, dude, keep it cash, bro. Don't do this. Don't pay taxes. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like, cheat. And then you get around Jeff Bezos, and he says, and you go, and you say that to Jeff. What do you think Jeff's going to say? He's probably going to laugh at you, or he's not even going to talk to you. He's going to be like, man, you got a lot of work to do. So when you actually get around successful people, listen, right? That's what I always say. Like, you can say, hey, what would you do in this scenario? Because you want to learn. But if you're like, coming out with all this stuff that you figured out on your own and you think that's the right way, and then you get around actually successful people, they're going to go, man, like you're bad confused. Like you think you're finessing. The reality is that you're losing, right? And we want to see you guys win. We want to see you guys succeed. Pay the full price of success. Leaders are up even when they're down. Okay. John Maxwell is one of my go-tos. I had a John Maxwell binge for 8 years, dude. Every 360-degree leader, 21 interview, but all those. Everybody communicates, you connect. I listen to all of them. And I have this sick personality where I remember everything. I remember everything. I just read it. I just do. It goes in. I remember it. I'm like, all right, cool. Back in 1991, I was at, the playground with the girl. She was, she had the blue dress and I was wearing my overalls and da-da-da-da-da. It's weird. It's messed up. I don't know why. But I'm not helter-skelter. It's indexed. I pull what I need. I put it back. I'm done. Okay. Success is actually extremely simple. It's extremely simple. Go out there, work hard, pay the ultimate price, pay the full price, not the ultimate price. That's like a military thing, but pay the full price of success. Work hard. Don't finesse. So many people out there, I have conversations after conversations after conversation, and they have a new way or a new strategy. Or they're a guru and they're giving out guru advice. And one guru advice is better than the other guru advice. The bottom line is that there's nothing really new about success that we've really learned in the last 100 years since Napoleon Hill in 1930. So the next time somebody puts out a video that's a guru denouncing another person, which, by the way, losers talk about people, successful people talk about the future. Unfollow, okay? Unsubscribe. By the way, if you want to get around successful people, maybe you should pour into those people instead of criticize those people. There's a thought, right? Get around people who have it going on. Don't listen to people who criticize people who have it going on. But you have to get around success. You have to be motivated. You have to be inspired by these kind of folks that are out there. Okay. I just get so fired up because other gurus are like, oh, dude, you don't have to do this. You need to do this. And I'm like, really? Really? Do you think that's the secret? That's the new secret? Other than work hard, pay dues, eat dirt, have a vision, go work hard, get a team around you. Right? But you have all these people that they just make stuff up. They're just constantly talking. They're just constantly making stuff up. And I'm like, hey, you guys got this aircraft, like the 747, and everybody's telling you to do more stuff. And I'm trying to tell you, do less, make more. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. That's not important. Don't focus on this. Everybody's like, no this, no that. How about you stop doing all of it? You go get the one thing book. You go get the 10X rule. You tithe, you give. You work hard. Put your nose to the grindstone for 5 years, pop your head up, and you might just realize that your life is eminently more successful, right? But we have endless podcasts, endless people that want to chat, endless people that want to build a social media empire. So everybody just puts out content all day long, and then they're really trying to help you. But really, it's like, anyway. I could care less if we had ads play. I could care less if we had money, that was derived from the show. Like, quote unquote, like we've made a couple bucks doing YouTube the last last 18 months, more than I ever thought. And I'm like, we didn't get started for that. So now when it comes in and I'm still putting out the content, it's got to make you wonder what's the motivation. Because if we didn't do it for money and we continued to do it, we started to make a couple bucks and we still continue to do it. If the money went away, I'd still do it because I know I would. So what's the motivation? The ulterior motive is, I want to help you guys grow. I want to help you guys succeed. My life has been infinitely better because of like a dozen different people in the green industry, and including the community, the greater lawn care community that we talk about. That's why I'm so fired up about what we're doing. But, guys, John Maxwell talks about all the time. It's leadership, right? It's taking care of your family, taking care of your finances, paying the full price of success. Don't finesse. I respect the gym rat guy. People criticize the gym rat guy. I'm like, look at the gym rat guy, dude. He's in here 2.5 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week, cleaned out. I mean, it's the 15 hours at the gym. It's the other 15 hours in the kitchen. I mean, nobody counts that work. It's like, oh, he's just, always doing bicep curls and dumbbells and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, dude, but the guy was disciplined eating for 30 meals this week. I mean, I eat like Jimmy John's 30 times this last week. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't look like this Herculean dude. I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, but not really. All right. Anyway, I'm out of words. I'm done. I just wanted to, just come give you guys some motivation, some excitement. Pay the full price, dude. Pay the full price of success. Liz talked about that on a podcast recently too. She didn't want to just be some trophy wife. Or if you guys have a wife out there and somebody says like, oh, my wife's just if somebody tries to talk about your wife and says, oh, is she a stay-at-home wife? And you go, yeah, she's management. She's the ball and chain. Or yeah, she watches the kids, dude. Like, you better figure out a way to more respect your wife and introduce and talk about how she is and who she is and what she does in a way more edifying way, in a way better edifying manner. My wife is my rock. My wife is my life force. My wife is the one that picks me up when I'm down. My wife is a butt kicker, right? Your guys' wives, they chose to be with you. You better thank Jesus every day that your wife chose you. Well, my wife doesn't get this. My wife's not support. Why don't you shower her with blessings, love, kindness, caring, and start introducing her as the love of your life and your wifey for lifey? Go buy her a stupid Louis Vuitton purse, for crying out loud. Stop being cheap and go take care of her. I mean, we're giving you guys the answers, right? Every day, every podcast, every episode, it's how to make more money. I want you guys to have those kind of nicer things, right? I want to have those nicer things. I talked to the guy on the coaching call. I said, dude, we're in this together. He's like, how are you so motivated? I said, because I have the pilot light lit on inside of me about wanting to be successful, to take care of other people. My needs were met when I was making $50,000 a year with my stupid little lawn care business. Imagine how much more my needs or wants are now taken care of when I'm making $150,000 a year with my lawn care business. So if my needs were met at 50, it didn't change very much here when I make 100, 150. My apartment changed. I got a stupid Tesla. Who really cares? But the bottom line is, I'm motivated to help other people. I'm motivated to pass the torch to the next guy. I said, that's the pilot light that's inside of me that I know that I can go out there and make a difference. I can cut grass. I can make a difference. I can help people financially. I can help myself financially. When you come from a trailer park and you are a loser, not because I came from a trailer park, because I was a loser in a trailer. Actually, I was a winner that a nobody told me that I wasn't a somebody. And I don't know if that was my counselor. I don't know if that was whoever. I don't know if it was a neighbor, but I was a nobody that was a somebody that everybody thought was a joke. And the bottom line is, you guys are winners. You guys can make it happen. Why can't you make it happen? You were born a winner. You literally started out as a winner. You were like the winner to the race, if you know what I'm saying. And then you get into society and they tell you you're a loser. You can't do things. Flush that. So when you come from a background of having nothing, you get a little bit more and you realize success is actually a lot easier than you think. I know it might sound hard when you're not successful, and I'm not saying I'm more successful or I am successful. I'm just saying when you have a little bit more success, you realize that success is actually not that hard, right? But when if you make 100, you can make 50. When you only make 50, making 100 sounds impossible. But when you make 100, you're like, yeah, dude, I can go make 50 tomorrow. Like 50 is actually not that big of a deal. Right? I mean, hello, like that's common sense. Like if you can dumbbell bicep curl 55s, of course you can do 25s. But when you can only do 25s, you're like, I'll never get the 55s. Right? So the bottom line is, when I started to make more money and I realized that I was helpful and I had a message to talk about, I had a message to tell, I could hire somebody and I could hire somebody. You know what? Something that really hit me was when one of my first employees was able to buy a car based on what I was paying him. Now, it was a piece of crap, little Altima, Aliro, whatever it is, $1,500 car. But to me, I was like, dude, I'm growing the business. I'm growing the economy. I'm employing people. We didn't, man, imagine how much more this economy would be effective if we gave out stimulus checks to people who actually, sincerely, really did grow intentionally the economy. Like imagine if you got a stimulus based on how many people you employed and based on how much taxes you paid. Not the opposite. If you're a taker and a non-producer, right, you got the most. Like it's completely backwards. Well, we're going to give student loan forgiveness. No, not so much, man. I mean, you kind of like took that loan out. You should probably pay it back. By the way, anybody ever heard of small business loan forgiveness? Anybody heard of small business owner forgiveness? Hey, you started a business, you ate ramen noodles and ate crap for 10 years, and now you employed 20 people and you got $1 million in revenue, and you net 150. You know what? I think we're gonna incentivize your success for employing 25 people in the economy, and we're gonna do a $100,000 debt wipe on your business. Man, how much more small business job creation would happen in this country in 4 years with that kind of an economic plan? But no. We're going to take care of people who are non-producers. I don't care if you don't like that. That's just facts, right? Like you can have your opinion about how the economy works when you make $11 an hour, but go make a couple $100,000, employ a half dozen people, and you might have some different perspective. When I was poor and broke and I made no money, I voted one way. I thought of one way. I grew up the opposite of how I think right now. You can't confuse me. I've grown up one way. I've literally ate the government cheese, had this. I mean, the whole deal. Now I'm on the other side, make a couple more bucks, and I'm like, I understand how both sides think. I mean, I got an opinion about the side I'm on now, and some of them are, morons. But the bottom line is, like, when you know that you can become successful, you have a duty, as Grant Cardone said, an obligation to be successful. And some of you guys, you're comfortable, dude. Some of you guys have been coasting. Some of you guys get da. And I'm like, dude, the idea, you have so much on your plate. The idea was that you didn't have anything on the plate. And they got so much on the plate, and you're bitching about how much you got on the plate. What? What kind of attitude is that? And you're like, I'm gonna turn this off. That's fine. Go listen to somebody else that wants you to feel, just provide you feel good nonsense. Check the box that you did something good for your business today, and you think that you're becoming more successful. On this podcast, we're going to talk about success, actual success, practical success, things that you guys can walk out with today and apply at lunch and start making more money, raise your price, make more money, feel good about yourself, stand your ground, know your worth. That's the stuff that we're talking about every day. So the guy goes, man, you're always motivated. You're always, you're always up. I said, I'm not always motivated. Big misnomer. I'm very inspired. I have inspiration built into me. See, the external flame on the stove is the motivation. That's what gets the pot hot. I said, but you got to start somewhere down below, and that's the pilot light that fires up the big flame. The pilot light's that little blue light. That one never goes out. So I have up days. I have down days. That's motivation. And I talked about it on the podcast with Liz. When you're up, double down. When you're down, don't do anything stupid. Right? My wife and I say this all the time. In our marriage, in our business, in our life, we just both can't quit on the same day. That's it. We just both can't quit on the same day. Right? Go back to get a job, quit the business, quit YouTube. I mean, I deal with more crap in a month than most of you guys deal with in a lifetime about negativity, criticism, and other people talking about me. Do you know how much it affects me? Not an ounce. Because I get 10 emails and DMs a day from you guys telling me how much this stuff is helping you, helps you get out of your head trash, the fog, people telling you guys can't succeed out there. Who gave those people to tell you that you can't be successful? Your brother-in-law at Thanksgiving, your career counselor, society. It's ridiculous. I'm telling you guys can. You listen to my voice. I'm telling you can. You know why? Because when I came from as far back as I did, and I see Kelfus who came back as far back as he did, and he can succeed, you can succeed. If I came back from a double wide trailer, holes in my shoes, never had a design, a name brand, I didn't even know Aeropostale, Abercrombie Fitch, Hollister, Pandora charm bracelets for your girl, your mom. I didn't know any of that stuff existed until I was like 20 years old, bro. I didn't know where you get a nice suit from Macy's or, menswear, let alone from there. I didn't know there was Hublots. I didn't know there was Breitlings. I didn't know any of this stuff. My worldview was the size of a pin needle's head. I had no clue about any of this stuff. And that's why I get around successful people. That's why I pay for access. That's why I get it with coaching calls. The other day I took my own advice from 2 weeks ago. How many of you guys listening in listen to the go take your mentor or go find a mentor or go find a friend or somebody's got a bigger income, life, fitness, better marriage, then you go take that person out to dinner in the next 30 days. We're about probably 3 weeks into that. And how many of you guys have actually done that? The staggering truth is probably 10%. Maybe. And I went and took my friend Mike Bedell to dinner for the better part of 5 hours. And I'm still doing the stuff I tell you guys to do. So next time somebody wants to criticize me, just know that I'm doing the stuff that I've told them to do that they're not doing. Their life is probably small. They're probably making less of an impact, but they're going to criticize somebody who's making a bigger impact. Which one are you going to listen to? So when I tell you guys the pilot light is always lit inside me because I know I can change my future. I know I can change my stars. I know I can go do aerations. I know I can go do lawn care. I know I can go do a live event. I know I can go inspire 5,000 people. I know I can go do this. Like my confidence, it doesn't come in my ability to perform. It comes in my ability to be used by who I believe in, which is my Lord and Savior. So I know that I'm a conduit. And as long as I'm obedient, I know that God's going to use me to help spread a message of hope and encouragement to the people that I have the ability to reach out to and through. The bottom line is that you guys are capable of so much more. Pay the full price for success. If you want the full reward, you got to pay the full price. I want you guys to get the trucks. I want you guys to get the mowers. I want you to cry every time you get a damn new cool thing because you know how hard you worked for it. Straight up. I don't want to cheapen success. I don't want to cheapen the price of success. I heard somebody say, don't shortcut the shortcut. So what's the shortcut? The shortcut is hard work. The shortcut is pay dues. The shortcut is it's going to take you 2-5 years to grow a successful lawn and landscape business, to get that first rig, that first truck, and that first trailer, and to have that first crew. It takes work. I'm 15 years into this thing. I feel like it should have took me 15 minutes to get to where I'm at today. But it's a journey, right? I had to learn things. I had to pay dues. In my story, my cost of success might cost more than what yours was. Yours might cost less. You might have been experiencing different things. You might have had parents or grandparents that taught you different things, so your price to pay was less. But you know what? You're still going to have to pay a price for success. That's the bottom line. Stop cheapening it. You know, what was the guy's name? Darren Hardy's mentor, Jim Rohn. Don't ask for it to be easier. Ask for you to be better. Own up. Man up. Buck up. I see the most physical fit people on the planet freak out and get scared over asking simple business questions or, you know, little life tasks. I mean, it's a facade so many times as males, as guys listening to this podcast, guys. I mean, it's tough. And I know I'm yelling at you, and you guys think I'm the hero. I'm not a hero. I'm just as brittle as half of you. Let's be honest. I'm susceptible. I have an ego. I'm honest. I've had days where I'm scared. I've had days where I cry. I've had days where I have a zero in the checking account, then another day in the zero checking account, then a couple more days with a zero in the checking account. And I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody that was going to give me 20 grand. Ain't nobody give me a dime, not a thing. They didn't even give me thought process to be successful. In fact, the only thing that people gave me was garbage. It was free. That should have been my first red flag that people were offering me advice. If the advice is free, it's probably bad. I mean, for crying out loud, like the podcast is free. I'm trying to give you guys good advice. You know, this podcast is free, but I'm trying to give you guys $1 million advice. Why? Because mark my words, in 4 to 5 years or less, I will be a freaking millionaire. And people will look back and say, man, that guy kind of knew what he was talking about 4 or 5 years. And I don't say that egotistically. I'm saying I'm listening from guys who are successful every freaking day. I have a duty and obligation to make sure that this podcast episode and the one before it and the one after it is a banger, that you guys don't waste a single ounce of time ever on my show, and that you guys are going to become successful by listening to this stuff. That is my obligation, to make sure that what we put out is good stuff. So what does that make me do? It makes me sharp. It makes me fired up. It makes me accountable. I have a lot of external pressure, a lot of external demand, a lot of external expectation. And you know what? It makes me want to own up. It makes me want to man up. It makes me want to buck up. I mean, imagine if I didn't say for 5 years I was going to get a Tesla. I didn't have to pronounce that. I didn't have to proclamate it. I didn't have to say I'm going to get this thing and put it out there in the universe. Frankly, that's kind of stupid sometimes when you guys hear about successful people. Don't tell people what you want, because people are going to laugh at you. And I had people laugh at me for 5 years. 5 years, well, you're never going to get a Tesla. Doing YouTube, man. YouTube's a waste of time. Stupid. What do you make, $1,000, $5,000? Oh, you make $100,000 a year, Brian's 10. People, all kinds of stupid criticism. I'm like, well, last I saw, like, Brian's 10 saved about $250,000 for people in the last 5 years. What have you done? That's when I was go back to the critic. Oh, you're going to make trading programs? Yeah, sold 1,000 contracts. It probably secured about $5 to $10 million worth of business. So, yeah, I'm going to keep selling some contracts nights a weekend. Oh, you're going to do reviews for Toro and talk about the Toro Multiforce? Yeah, we probably did $1 million in lawnmower sales for these companies and helped you guys, by buying $1 million worth of lawnmowers, make $10 million in revenue. So, yeah, what's the problem? What's the problem with any of that? So why are you making those critical remarks? Why are you making those statements? Right? What have you done? That's my question to the critic. And by the way, for the critic out there, if you don't have a life that somebody wants to emulate, you have zero credence in that person's life for them to give you any credibility. There's no credibility. There's no credence. If you don't have what I want, what do you think? You think I'm listening to you if you don't have what I want? In fact, if you criticize me and you don't have what I want, more than likely, I'm on the right path. Okay, so next time somebody criticizes you guys, family member, friends, somebody from church even. I know there's a lot of people that are Christians, man, but I'll tell you what, as a Christian, there's a lot of Christians out there that don't represent Christianity very well. And, judge not yet ye be judged, and blah, blah, blah. Plank in the eye, I get it, the whole deal, okay? But the bottom line is that they're very humble, very observant type of Christian. I'm actually like the skeptic Christian. As a Christian, I'm still a skeptic because there's a lot of weirdo Christian stuff out there. And maybe you're a believer, maybe you're not a believer. But the bottom line is that I've had to be a truth seeker. Like, what exactly does it say? Not some interpretation, but what exactly does it say? And there's a lot of people out there that make slate comments. And I'm like, why would you make a slate comment? Aren't you supposed to be an encourager? So at the same time somebody else gives you guys flack or gives you guys crap out there, do they have what you want? Are they living the dream? Do they have a successful business? Are they just trading time for money and have a $48,000 a year, but your business only did 30 grand? So they think they have credibility telling you how to make money. By the way, somebody making 40, 50, 60, 80,000 bucks. I mean, it sounds good in theory, but in the grand scheme of making income, like there's a lot more to go. So when somebody makes $60,000 a year, you're kind of like, hey, I understand that like you think that's a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of business and life, it's not. Like, hey, brother-in-law, I know you're like a really successful engineer at General Motors, but like maybe you want to learn a couple things and maybe like not be so egotistical and maybe not be so analytical and maybe not be so judgmental, right? I've talked about this before. You want to be the Lamborghini in the slow lane, not the loud screaming, Corvette in the fast lane. And I told Liz the other day, I said, funny story for you guys, a little lighthearted story. I said, I want to have the Lambo for sure. I said, I want to get a Lambo. She's like, all right, cool. I know you want everything. You want guns. You want a helicopter. You want a boat. Just like you guys send me DMs of like cool stuff and cool cars. And I posted out the other day about a G-Wagons and I don't want a G. I do want a G-Wagon. They're just crazy expensive and to me impractical unless you're a drug dealer or, anyway, or Jay-Z. But I said, I need to get a Lambo. I want to get a Lambo. And she's like, you've been talking about a Lambo forever. I go, I know. I'll work 10 times harder now that I got the baby. But I said, I still want to get a Lambo. And I said, do you mind if I get the Lambo at like 39? She goes, why 39? I said, that way, like I don't get it at 40. So it's like my midlife crisis car. She laughed out loud, which is really hard to do for my wife because she's heard all of my nonsense. You guys only get it for 30 minutes a day. She gets it every day, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? And I said, yeah, I want to get it at 39. So it's my not my midlife crisis car. I'll get it at 39. She goes, all right. She goes, well, how much is the car? I go, I don't know. How much is Lambo? I don't know. You guys listening. You guys are more on the numbers than I am about cars, but 350, $350, And so you guys are, that's a lot for a car. Yeah. Whatever. It's just green stinky paper. How are you going to get that? YouTube? Maybe, hopefully. I don't know. Cut grass, doing aerations at $99 a pop. I'll do all of it. I like the hustle, man. I don't sleep a lot. I said, I've spent, 30 years being broke. Spent the last 4 years trying to make money. And I'm starting to like the making money part. And I'm going to double down that momentum and pour back into my friends, my family, my employees, my God. That's what I like to do with my money. I said, but yeah, I don't know, a couple $100,000. She goes, we better get working. I'm like, all right. So, hey, you got to get the wife approval first before you guys go shopping. You guys know how that goes. And so I'm not saying that's my new goal, but it took me 5 years to get the Tesla. I'm 34 right now. By 39, that'll be, that's 5 more years. So I don't know. Maybe we should put a little carrot out there for even yours truly. We all have goals. We all have motivations. If it's watches, it's watches, dude. If it's cars, it's cars. If it's houses, it's houses, man. If it's taking care of your kids, I know that's a huge new one for me. We got our baby coming in a couple months. I know that's a huge new one for me. But you know what? I want to know that the things I have around me, the rewards of success, I want to personally know that I paid the full price for them. I want to know that I lost sleep. I want to know that if I got muscle gains, it was from muscle pains and muscle strains. Okay. I want to know that if I'm going out to dinner and treating friends, that I worked hard that last couple weeks or months to be able to do that. That's what I want to do with some of my money. I love taking people out to dinner. There's stories out there that don't even get told about me that I do for people that are crazy that would blow you guys' minds. Many, many expensive dinners. I love doing that with my money. And other people, they lost the art of talking good about other people. People don't edify people anymore. Very few people, I should say. Maybe a little side tip, little side note, little homework if you guys want to take this off, take this advice with you today. Maybe go talk good about somebody in front of somebody else today. Tell you what, man, we need way more of that in our society. It's called edification. It's called talking nice about somebody. It's called blessing. Blessing means to say good about. That's what it means to bless somebody. It means to say something good about them. So maybe today, go bless somebody. Go talk good about somebody. Go talk good about your wife in front of your kids. Maybe go talk good about your kid in front of your other kid and edify them to model success about a behavior or a thing that they did that you want exampled in them. Talk good about your dealer everywhere you go. I mean, I give you 100 examples. You know what I'm always doing? Because I know my life and death is in the power of the tongue, and words, my mouth is a rudder. My tongue is a rudder. I'm always talking good about people everywhere I go. Everywhere. The stuff that people say about us all day long, it would blow your mind. And it's funny to me because I never, ever, ever talk about them. I've noticed that people that are more successful, they're always lending a hand up. They're never trying to pull people down. But I've noticed people that are below you, or people that are less successful or jealous or envious, they're always trying to pull you down and not lift up. They're always talking about people versus talking about what they're going to do and who they've helped. Okay? So this is my podcast. This is some Monday motivation. Okay? It's hustle time. It's grind mode. Pay dues. The next 10 weeks are going to suck. I hope they suck so much that you're so tired that when you go get your new truck in July and you pay cash for $40,000, it's because you lost so much sleep and you put so much cash in the bank that I want you to just send me photos of the new truck you bought by the end of this season because you have so much damn cash that came in that you needed some write-offs. That's success. That's kicking butt. That's paying the full price. Stop finessing. Stop negotiating. Okay? That's my success advice. That's my success motivational talk. I get so fired up about this stuff. I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. I whatever I can do to help you grow, just let me know. Always here for you guys. All right. Keep those ratings and reviews coming in. Last I saw, Mr. Producer told me that we crossed 800. I think like 15 to 20 of them came in just last week. I'm like the Andy Frisella type. The podcast is free. But you know what? The only thing we sincerely ask and request out of you guys is if you got one thing out of the show, one thing out of today's show, there'd be 20 things out of today's show. I'm going to go listen back because I wasn't doing half the talking. You know what I'm saying? But I would tell you guys, I would request of you guys, can you please leave us a 5-star rating review? I want to get to 1,000. That's my goal. If we've helped you on YouTube or a training program or a podcast or an encouraging word or a DM and you haven't left a 5-star, what are you waiting for? Come on. Help a brother out. All right, guys, that's what I got for you today. We're fired up. We're going to be back here Wednesday. We're going to be back here Friday. I got some great shows coming for you this week. We're fired up. We're going back into the work week. We're moving hundreds of yards of mulch. We're slaying the world. We're cutting the grass. We're doing the deal just like all of you guys are. And I hope you guys have nothing but the best success, the best season you've ever had as we go into this spring, summer season 2021. All right, guys, that's it. Over and out. Love you guys. We'll kick it back over to Marty in the ATL, and we will catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Here's what I got out of the show today. I'm lazy. Yeah, it sounds like I've got to up my game. Love the Monday Mo Nation motivation. So let's get those blades sharpened, those fluids swapped out, and lay some stripes. The Whole Ball of Wax blowout continues. We certainly appreciate the feedback.
Hey, my name is David. I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. I'm starting a lawn care business this year. So I recently purchased the Entrepreneur Academy Whole Ball of Wax program. So you get every program that Brian offers and a coaching call. So any questions you still have at the end of the academy, when you're finished with it, you can ask him and he will at least steer you in the right direction. So I would absolutely recommend it. It'll make you money in the long run with just the information that you're getting. So if you're deciding on whether or not to get it, get it. Absolutely. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Thank you, Brian, and thank you for all the information you gave me. I appreciate it.
Everything at launchpreneuracademy.com, plus the bonus courses from the Hardscape Academy and the 2 coaching calls with Brian are yours for only $9.99. I doubt that this offer is going to last much longer, so go ahead and pull the trigger on that today. A quick link will be in the show description. And again, thank you to IsoTunes for your partnership with Fullerton Unfiltered. And remember, Brian's 10 at checkout will save you a 10 spot.
Stay protected and connected as you grow your lawn care business. Ditch your uncomfortable earplugs or muffs and step up your game with IsoTunes. Hearing protection you'll want to wear. IsoTunes provides protection you need and freedom you deserve. Merging high-quality audio with unsurpassed durability, IsoTunes delivers OSHA-compliant protection to last you season after season. Gear up with the next generation of hearing protection. Visit isotunes.com today.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.